to another episode of Halfway Human. I am here with the lovely, amazing, he's waiting, Sensei Swart. Is that how you say it?
Swart.
Swart? Mm-hmm. See, I do this every time I screw everybody's name up. Winslow Swart, the Sensei. You just got back. We're going to start with what I call the sexy stuff because it's kind of topical. You just got back from Israel. So I guess I don't go a lot into politics here, but it's going to be hard, I guess, in this case to stay away from it. But what is it like over there right now? Because you had a hard time getting back, right?
Yeah, I mean, the airports, the flights were canceled. So there was a lockdown for a bit there. So that was interesting. What it's like right now is, you're living in a country that like has the number 8 like happiness quotient of any country in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And you think, what the heck? You're getting bombed. People, there's terrorism, there's anti-Semitism, there's challenges to, the economy because of global impacts. And it's still the 8th happiest place in the world to live.
Really?
It's like, yeah, it's like, what the heck? What's up with that? But you feel that the vibe, it's like there.
Do you feel, so from I've never been, and obviously it's probably not a great time to go right now, but what is it? Do you feel like, obviously I think I saw some posts that you were hearing some air raids and stuff like that. Do you feel stressed though? Like, I mean, on a daily basis or no?
The 5 weeks of actual war, right?
Mm-hmm.
When
we were actually at it.
Yeah, there were thousands of rockets coming at us from Hezbollah in the north.
Yeah.
Okay, from Lebanon, a little bit here and there from Syria. Tons of very sophisticated ballistic missiles from Iran and from Yemen, and also still from Gaza. And from Iraq. So we had 7 fronts. We have people that are targeting civilian populations. Not these are not strategic tactical targets. This is let's mess up, kill as many Jewish Israelis as we can, and then they wind up killing Arab Israelis. Oops, by mistake because either their aim sucks or whatever. Yeah. But I think it does grate on you when you're hearing. You're getting the alerts on your phone. Yeah. It says you got 15 minutes. Within the next 10 or 5 minutes or whatever, you should be close to cover. Yeah. Then the next one is there's the air raid sirens across the cities, and then your phone's blowing up, saying, "Okay, I hate that metaphor on this one." But it's saying you have 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Yeah. To get in either a mamad, a safe room, or a miklat, an actual bomb shelter.
So where is that next to you, though? 90? You said 90 minutes?
90 seconds. 90 seconds. We have 90 seconds to get cover.
So, but is that in your house? Like, I mean, or is there somewhere in an area around you?
In the neighborhood, there's 2 bomb shelters, and with the little kids and the grandkids, 90 seconds is not enough.
No, especially in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So usually people have little kids are going to go to those on the 15-minute warning or the 10-minute warning, which sometimes they say, no, okay, it went somewhere else. This rocket went to the south, or they intercepted that one, and then but 80 to 100 of those sirens were real, and you heard the rockets being launched, the Iron Dome rockets being launched from right near you. You heard the impacts above your head.
Really?
Yeah. You saw rocket debris near you. Like, and even my kids went out to eat in Tel Aviv, towards after all this stuff kind of blew over. And the restaurant they went to had been bombed. It just wasn't there anymore. They're like,
really?
Oh well, we got to Google something else. So there's a realness to it.
How many actually land? Like how many actually missiles? Because they do have the Iron Dome.
Okay, so I don't have an actual census on the exact number of rockets that did not get intercepted. We kind of say, like, if we're selling the Iron Dome to somebody like the Emirates, we say, look, they're about 78% effective. For some reason, we have like well in the 90s, 90% interception rate in Israel. But then also depends on the kind of rockets or missiles.
Sure.
Hezbollah, they're lower flying.
The drone type things.
Yeah, the drone type. We don't see those. There's also when they send a whole mess of them at once. Yeah. And then when they do intercept, there's the cluster bomb. So then you get tons of like, I don't know if we're talking about this too much, but
No, it's fine. This is good.
but you know, when you're living that, you know, your life does continue to go on. You have your business meetings. You go to synagogue. You still talk to God the way you would any other time, or maybe even more intensely. You know, there's a lot of vitality in the moment, even.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, but you're just always, you know, people. You know, I think one of the Zach Briggs interviewed me from, you know, one of the news stations.
Yeah,
here,
I saw that.
And he says, you know, how do you feel being over there? And I said, so much better being here with my kids and grandkids than not being here.
That's true.
So when I was in Texas, you know, I was just crapping my pants, worried about my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When I'm there, I'm like, okay, guys, let's go hustle. You know, get up, turn the TV off. Boom. You know, we need to be in there. Siren.
Yeah.
And then after, like, I don't know, we usually stay for about at least 10 to 15 minutes. I forgot what the exact time frame is. And everybody wants to leave before.
Yeah.
And I go, look, it's not, it's not 12 minutes yet.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the worst offender, I'm out. 11 and a half minutes, I'm out. You know, I'm back. You know?
Well, I mean, so is it majority at night that these raids go off? Like, because I would think that's disruptive to the sleep and all that.
They can be at 2 and 3 in the morning. They can be during coffee. They can be at lunch. They can be anytime.
Really?
All day long, 24 hours. You don't know when you're going to be woken up. You get so used to just having to be roused when you could finally sleep again, you know?
Yeah.
And then the thing is the adrenaline rush that happens, your body is hyper vigilant for at least 90 minutes afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, so returning to normal just because of that missile barrage is over and the site, it's not over, right?
Yeah.
It still stays with you a little bit.
Yeah. What I imagine too, and we'll get past this, but it's interesting to me. I imagine when your body finally settles down, it's like being a race car driver. They get hyped up, and then there's like they stop the race for a little bit, and they say they just fall asleep because their adrenaline has spiked so much, and now they have a moment to relax, and you're just coming back to normal is different even.
It is, and even after the after the ceasefire, you know, there's still, you know, stuff happening in the north. Hezbollah is still, you know, on a mission to kill us, and so it, and then you don't know exactly, you know, when it's all going to start up again. So you kind of have this sort of edginess of, you know, even some people say, you know, hey, are you going to take your kids to this thing? Oh, we better do it now in case the war starts again.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do something fun, better do it now. You know?
Yeah. Is Hezbollah, so Hezbollah is kind of funded by Iran?
They have been funded by the you know, the IRGC, and by Qatar and others over the years. I know their purse strings are tightened, but they have so much buried infrastructure.
They've been preparing for this for years, like decades.
Yeah, like if you listen to NPR, and I'm a huge public radio fan, but all you hear is, oh, Israel attacked a village in Lebanon and so many people died. Yeah. And they end right there. They don't say, oh, and they uncovered, you know, 300 Kalashnikovs and 60 rocket launchers and 10 surface to air. And what was this? Oh, yeah, it was someone's apartment.
Yeah.
You know, someone that works for the UN. You know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's really weird what's going on there. And that's, you know, we have to stop it.
When you got left, obviously you got, I was texting you back and forth to do the show. And then where is it? I guess we'll leave it at this and move on. Where is it now? It's died down, I'm assuming some because of the ceasefire, air quotes. So is it calmer there now? I mean, you got out, which is good.
It's like, you know, life returns to normal in Israel the second, you know, something's over.
Yeah.
The minute, not just that, you know, we didn't wait till the ceasefire to get back to work, to get back to business, to get back to life.
Yeah.
We just had to always recalibrate. Like you couldn't go to the beach during that.
Yeah.
And you did, if you did most of your meetings, you were deliberately knowing, is there a shelter close by? to that meeting.
Yeah.
You know, how far am I going to be from a miklat, from or a mamad? So that's on your mind. Now,
That's pretty standard though in general though over
no.
Okay.
No, in
So
general,
the war is spiked this a lot then.
yeah, I did one thing kind of crazy because I'm a cyclist and I have a good buddy over there who's also a mountain biker, and we just said screw it, we're going to the mountains. We just really did a seriously cool ride. The most dangerous thing that happened on that ride, because there weren't any sirens, I had a close encounter with a striped hyena in the wild.
Isn't that crazy? That's what you yeah.
I mean, Israel's connected to Africa essentially, right? But you don't expect that.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see the ibises or whatever when you're in the the valley over there by the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
You know, in Engedi and all these kind of cool places where the waterfalls are. But you don't expect to see a hyena crossing you as just like here, like it's as if it's a squirrel.
Yeah.
Or, squirrels aren't that treacherous, but usually.
I've been attacked by a few.
I know they're so weird sometimes. But but this was so weird. I had to look it up later to check my own. Did I make this up?
Yeah.
And no, they're indigenous, and
really,
it's not just a feral escape artist from a zoo,
like it would be here.
Yeah, they're pack animal. No, they're actually kind of solitary, and they're mostly carrion. Yeah. So unless they think you're dead, they probably won't attack you and eat you, kind of thing. Yeah. But I was like, wow, that was really cool.
So were you born here in San Antonio? No. Were you born in San Antonio?
I was born in Concord, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay.
I'm supposed to be a Yankee, but I was raised on the West Coast.
Okay. How long did you live there?
There was a moment where the weather was too severe, the economy wasn't booming, and I packed up the family and moved to California. I was 4 years old. And I was making these executive. No,
I could see you doing that at 4. Actually,
my parents are new Americans, so I'm first generation. My parents had just come here from Europe after the Holocaust, after World War II. Europe hadn't really covered economically yet, and so. So
were they speaking English at that point? Like, I mean, I'm assuming
Dutch people speak English.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're almost taught that at a low. Yeah.
England's right across the pond, and I've been a trading partner since we were blowing up their ships back in the 1500s.
Yeah.
So,
so you moved to California at like 4, you said?
Yeah.
What part of California?
Started in NoCal.
Okay.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I grew up in that
area.
Then
I wound up in SoCal for a few years, and then ended up in LoCal.
Yeah, LoCal.
Yeah, so San Diego.
yeah. That's interesting. I haven't heard LoCal. So then California, and then you came to Texas.
Yeah.
What age did you get here?
26.
You were 26?
Yeah, I had spent some of the previous year in Japan. Came back to California. I started to find the culture to be rather abrasive compared to Japan.
Oh God, yes.
The others oriented. Versus self-centered society was just like it was a lot. Yeah. And I had met Pamela, who I'd fallen in love with, and she was from San Antonio, and. Then came over here.
Where'd you meet her?
In La Jolla, in San Diego.
Why was she there?
Working and
but she was from here.
Yeah, but she was from here.
I got you.
And came to Texas, and I think, wow, San Antonio, these people are like the Japanese. Well, because when they ask how are you, they're listening for the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't get that in LA or something.
No.
So there are others oriented. They're polite.
Yeah.
They don't bow like the Japanese, but
there's a respect
in their heart. They bow, And so I went. I really, yes, California has great topography, and
sure, the weather is beautiful.
The so-called beautiful people, but here they're beautiful people. Really, that's where that's where you really find them.
Sure. So how was childhood for you?
My childhood was all right. I mean,
how many kids did you grow up with?
I had 2 siblings.
2 siblings. Okay, and so, did your parents stay in California, and then are they back in Israel or no?
No. Well, the Netherlands. So my parents are from the Netherlands.
Oh. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, we've been in exile for 2,000 years. So our connection to Israel has been sort of, we've been Spanish, and we've been, other nationalities while we were living in those guest cultures for hundreds or years.
Yeah.
Like in my Dutch family, where part of my ancestors are Spanish Sephardic
Yeah.
Jews. So they're Spanish Jews that left after the Inquisition and came to
Gotcha.
Holland. That little thing, the Inquisition. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
these little things that
Little
happen.
things.
Yeah.
Every so often, there's a little thing.
Every so often,
There's a little thing.
someone decides, hey, it would be fun. Let's wipe out the Jews.
It would be fun. It seems like it's cyclical, though. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like every so often we're like, let's.
And they always have like a really good reason.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So growing up, you came here from. You have a similar story than I do, then, because I came from California to Texas. It at 26, was there a culture shock, especially San Antonio from California? Was there like I mean, I know you said you like it and the culture here, but was it like, okay, I got to get used to this?
So first part, I had more culture shock coming back from Japan to California.
Yes.
But going to Texas, what was it? I mean, in the 80s, I always felt like South Central Texas was 10 years behind any trend.
Yeah.
Everything from fashion to music to whatever. It always, even though it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But things didn't move at the hyper rate they do now in terms of
online,
whatever people we're all doing culturally.
Yeah.
So, that gave you kind of a sense of superiority, like
Yeah, in California.
Yeah. But you get over that really quick because can we cuss on the stage?
Yeah.
People in California can be wonderful, but they can be real assholes.
Yeah.
And everything from how people drive to
Yeah.
to just the worldview. I hate to generalize about any one people or place because then as soon as you do that, you're falling short of truth. Of truth. But what did I have to get used to? What a really good example of this place now is one of the first things I did when I got back from Israel is I went to HEB.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
While the markets in Israel are fantastic.
The food's better.
Yeah, they're international. Everything's basically farm to table.
Yes.
There's so much diversity.
Yeah.
You hear every single language spoken.
Yeah.
And but they don't have HEB.
Yeah. So let's fast forward into like your because I just went to Japan recently, and so I get what you're saying. It's such a different. You get back here and things you start seeing where we fall short in some areas, and I'm not saying like even technology. I'm saying like how everything's so precise. Like and you get back in the airport here. It's like it's not precise. It's like you go to a restaurant, even a diner in Japan. Mm-hmm. It's precise, quick. They take their and I'm doing a segue here. I know it sounds like I'm not, but it's how did that culture started to influence you in your professional career? Because that's kind of how I met you is through some leadership development stuff. How did that affect? And where did you go with that, I guess?
Yeah, I think, the idea in the Japanese culture, there's something called shikata. There's a way to do things.
Yeah.
There's an order to things, and, there's the importance of mastering whatever that is. If you're working in a diner, you're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about something else. You're focused on that customer and their experience. And I think that the idea of, having started in the dojo so early in my life, it was kind of baked into me that, system and structure. Mm-hmm. But one of the concepts is shuhari in the Japanese kind of heart set of the martial arts, which is you master something, you internalize it, then you transcend it. Yeah. Then you innovate.
Yeah.
But you unless you've had your 10,000 or 500,000 hours doing it. You don't get to innovate yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So where did you when you came here at 26? What was your? I know you started a dojo, which we'll get into that in a second, because you never taught me. I've been asking you to teach me karate, but I guess you said I'm too small or whatever. But I'm kidding. That's a joke. But
No, actually, I just afraid you'll abuse it. I'll teach you how to kick someone's ass, and then you'll go kick somebody's ass. It's like, wait a second, that's not what it's for.
That's not what, James. That's not. You don't attack.
Yeah.
You just see me on the news every night.
Yeah.
No. So what did you do at 26 when you came over? What was your what were you doing, I guess, to get here and start your career, I guess?
So, the first phone call I got from someone, I got cold called by a guy who ran a very successful karate studio.
Yeah.
He was in the karate business.
Yeah.
And he had me come by, talk to me, and hired me to run his I wouldn't call it a dojo.
Yeah.
His karate studio.
Yeah.
For him.
Why is there a difference, real quick?
Because
is this going to get
No, I just
political
think
with
that,
the dojo? Are we going to have the dojos after us?
We used to call them belts R Us, right? There's,
gotcha.
they'll sell you a black belt program
Gotcha.
and test you because that's also a cash cow. And then,
Yeah.
then keep like priming the token.
You got a
economics of it.
4-year-old with a black belt, basically.
Yeah, or just someone who can't fight their way out of a paper bag or whatever it is. So, I was trained in such core deep disciplines that mastery was first, and all that other stuff came second.
Yeah,
and also character, not just technique.
Sure.
But I took the job because I thought it was really weird that somebody's not your sensei going to have you work for them in their karate school. So I think as odd as that was, I took the job.
Yeah.
So, that's 12 hours a day running classes and selling programs. That's what I was basically doing.
So did you kind of learn on the job, or did you already have some skill set before that?
Oh, no, I had 20 years of martial arts in me before that.
Okay. So you weren't just like...
Yeah, no, I was...
You were like, this is not really what it should be.
Yeah. It's funny. In 1980, I started the UCSD Karate and Kung Fu Club. And to this day, one of my students from them still runs it.
Really?
Yeah. How many years is that? 46?
Yeah.
And like that,
I'm too old to even know.
My one of my guys still runs it to this day. That's insane.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah. So no, when I came over here, the guy called me because I had a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, I was like a good one.
No,
I was going to say
a horrible. No. He
I know you now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, he knew of me from the martial arts world.
Yeah.
And so brought me and hired me, which I thought it was nice, but that lasted like not even 6 months because I felt like I didn't feel like his cause was noble.
Yeah.
So me and a couple of my Japanese colleagues established Kenseido here in the U.S. for Japan together.
Is Kenseido, is that a...
That's the system that I'm an 8th Dan Shihan in
Japan.
Japan.
Is it a type of karate?
Karate is a very generic term.
Yeah.
It's a budo, a sogo budo. It's a composite martial art.
I just thought of food when you said that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a Japanese martial arts system, right? And we established it here. So that was my day job for probably about 10 years. It was about 10 years later that I really started getting pulled into the kind of human performance space. Yeah. Right. Doing more in the organizational development, leadership, team stuff.
So you started, am I wrong in saying you started kind of consulting leaders using kind of the background of what you were doing in karate?
Yeah, I had students that were senior executives in companies here.
Even the Spurs.
That was that was the inner game stuff. That was where that was kind of a layer of all this.
Yeah.
But some of my clients who in the dojo who are executives said, I would love for you to do what you've done for me for my team at work.
Yeah.
And that's like, well, definitely going to have to configure it differently, right?
Sure.
The dojo to the boardroom, a little bit of a leap. I became a vigorous student of the world of organizational learning.
Okay.
Right. So the Peter Sengeis and all the different, all the stuff all the toolkits that were being, were good.
Yeah.
And integrated that with what I was with the essence of what I was teaching, the distinctions in mastery that we learn in the dojo, bringing that into a leadership development curriculum.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, I got really successful at that really fast.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine that. I know we look at Toyota here in town, but because they have some of the same principles too. But I imagine a lot of that translates really easily into leadership.
Yeah, and the Kaizen theory of practice, has an energetic piece.
Yeah.
They don't usually teach that part, so I do.
Yeah.
So when you get to the 5 S's and the 3 M's, I like to pull back a layer behind the bamboo curtain and say, okay, this is where this concept lives in samurai culture or something like that.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, in operational, manufacturing,
Sure.
it looks like this now. But the essence of it, certainly, there's some overlap. What I was finding interesting was, I was beating out the McKinseys for consulting contracts with Citibank when they were working to build a Malcolm Baldrige Award, and
Sure.
they preferred my vibe because I was going in there very sincerely, very authentically, about the work of really helping them invest in their people. Where the McKinseys, that part was good, but a lot of it was upselling, cross-selling, and after work and all that kind of, they had this whole machine.
Yeah.
But
Yours is more authentic to a degree, to me.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. That's
You're like, yeah. Great. Well, I think some people too, and we may have to back up just here because I've gone through your leadership program, when you were running one of them here. And I think a lot of people think, oh, well, people are just doing karate in the middle of the leadership program or the consulting, but that's not what it is. So explain to people that don't really get. I mean, you don't have to go the whole thing,
right.
but like, how does that work?
Yeah.
I guess.
So there are some experiential.
It is fun,
learning.
By the way. Yeah.
There's some experiential learning exercises that reveal how we operate in any context.
Yeah.
So in a business context, when it comes to decision making, or a team concept when it comes to employee engagement, or any sort of results that we want to drive, on our KPI kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There are mechanics that through certain physical activities, you can learn those ideas on a way where they're really integrated, where they're not just language. It's not just language-based learning.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just incremental learning. It is transformative because of the immersion.
Yeah.
Of the learner as an entire system. Right.
Yeah.
And so you walk away with just a deeper, not only understanding, but a sharper sword to be able to implement.
Yeah.
A what would become a best practice, right? And what's interesting is after consulting for a certain number of years, I had the imposter syndrome because I didn't have my degrees in the field.
Sure.
I was a classic college dropout from California.
Yeah.
I'd go to philosophy class because I was interested.
Yeah.
But I might not complete some of my other courses. I'd rather be surfing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had kind of a really scattered resume, but I went back to school and got my bachelor's in organizational psychology. Then I got my master's in organizational leadership and administration. As soon as I completed grad school, I got hired to teach in the grad school because I was a pra-academic.
Yeah.
I was doing the work that they were talking about.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice. But then after having all these new toolkits, being kind of the newly minted, organizational development practitioner, when I look back at the stuff that I developed, and if I have some mentors helping me with this, so I don't want to take all the credit, and I mention them in my book. Some of the stuff I developed before I knew any better is still some of the best stuff I can bring.
Really?
To leaders and teams.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. You go back, it's like, all this stuff is good, but that stuff is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to have that.
Where do you see, this is going to be an interesting answer from you. Where do you see leadership? Where have we started to do things right in San Antonio? I don't know why I laughed at that. And what are we doing wrong here?
We're talking across a city that has so many different nodes and different verticals and different ecosystems within.
Sure.
And across, right? And there's brilliant things happening here and brilliant things happening there. I think that one thing we could be doing better is, and I know Janie Gonzalez mentioned this in an article that she wrote when she got back from Latin Tech trip to Israel a few months back
Mm-hmm.
was that there's too much playing to win individually as individual
Yes.
organizations
Yeah.
or segments,
Yeah.
and not enough shared kind of a ethos of let's win as a region,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Across this industry, across this region, let's play a global game where we're all we're all stakeholders in this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do we make sure that we just have, when we say, okay, right people in the right seats of the bus, they don't have to just be your friends. The cliquishness is something we need to get over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of tough to go out and see the same group of besties always doing the same stuff together.
Yeah.
George Hernandez, when he was CEO and chair over at University Hospital, his mantra was hire weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We would have done well in that ecosystem.
Oh yeah, we would have been the top candidates. But people need to hire weird. They need to include weird for the diversity of thought and the different approaches that are not just intergenerationally, but across any sort of
Yeah.
So
Well, I think too, we've created. A lot of people don't. At least I didn't realize how much San Antonio has created, and a lot of it gets taken. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've created a lot here, and then it's kind of sad to see it. I don't know if it's even the right words, improved on. Like California is a perfect example, taking some of the stuff that we've built and then running with it and making it bigger.
Oh, you mean like the internet?
Yes. Yes. I didn't want to say. I didn't want to say like Al Gore.
No, yeah.
But yes, I mean that's very true. Data points right around the corner.
Yeah, well, Al Gore, authorized the funding to commercialize the ARPANET.
Yeah.
And some of our guys here were writing that code.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ben Barker, for example, was one of them, right?
Yeah.
And people, and we just lost our dear friend, who sent the first phone
picture,
right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people we're lousy at telling our own story.
Yeah.
You got the Lorenzo Gomez's that are trying to help us do a better job.
Sure.
At being better storytellers about our city. And maybe the James Chandlers and guys like that too, right?
And if Beto would do the show.
Yeah.
We could go all day.
What's funny about Beto is he's not afraid to stretch and reach for things that the world might have told him were not in his reach once upon a time, right?
Yeah.
So I like his entrepreneurial verve is, it's like that Gandhi quote that, if I'm afraid of something, the closer I get to it, the more familiar, whatever, this kind of is.
So back up just a little bit, because it just hit me. So why Japan? Why did you go to Japan at a young age? Like, why did you go there?
Well,
and how did you how did you afford and do all that?
Yeah. So two parts of that story. One was I'd been studying martial arts for about 20 years, right?
Uh-huh.
From some really good people and some just okay people. But I felt like most of the people I learned from, that they had stopped learning when they had gotten off the boat or the plane or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, whatever they were when they left Asia, whatever level they were, that's where they still
stopped,
were.
Yeah.
So I felt like there was a ceiling in how much I could learn from people who it was apparent to me they had stopped learning.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So I sold all my worldly possessions.
Really?
Yeah, I had a Volkswagen thing. One of those little crappy little VW Jeep things.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. I think I don't know if I still had my convertible.
And
VW
you left.
Then,
you were leaving college at this point, or
it was so easy for me to leave college.
But that was during that time frame.
I was always leaving college. I was dropping in and dropping out of college for a while.
Yeah.
I'm like that old guy in class. It's like, hey, it's like.
I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah, no, I was still early 20s, but I wanted to go to the source and be able to answer my students' questions, and not have made up answers.
Yeah.
Right? And I'd been studying. One thing that really got me, I was reading Eiji Yoshikawa's book Samurai, which is about the life of Miyamoto Musashi, and it's written a little bit like a novella.
Yeah.
And they've done soaps of it, and they've done cinematic series of it, where Toshiro Mifune plays Musashi, which is brilliant. And I just said, I'm just going to walk those footsteps.
Yeah.
Even though, they're high rises instead of, little tiny pagodas in some of the places, but they're still the pagodas. And so I just followed those footsteps, and I found a really good teacher in Kyoto, Japan, Akira Takahashi. I still have the samurai sword he gave me, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a family sword, like a long wakizashi.
Did you ever bring that baby out and just swing it around?
I try not to do any of my sushi work with it, even though you could cut a whole bluefin tuna with it easily. But so I went over there to sort of fulfill my dream. And, I was studying in school. I was doing some comparative literature, East-West anyways, because it was part of my interest group. So I had, between the philosophy and the literature stuff that I had been studying, I wanted to kind of really smell those incense and smell that tatami in those, shrines and temples. Yeah. So immerse.
How long were you there?
That was like a 3-month trip.
Oh, so you were only there for 3 months.
At that time, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been back since? I'm sure.
Well, that's the thing, is revolving. I've been going back and forth to Japan since then so repeatedly that it became like a second home, and my comfort with the language and
Do you speak a lot of the language, or enough to?
Watashi wa Nihongo dekimasu.
I'm not going to try.
Okay, yeah,
you're going to make me look stupid.
I'm comfortable in the language.
Yeah,
and I take the discipline in Kenseido and Kendo, we teach 100% in Japanese. So our students learn the language as it applies to the art.
Yeah.
But I think going there was sort of like, getting a better foundation and building some relationships that have become lifelong now.
Yeah.
And I reached a level that no gaijin has ever reached in this discipline. Being an eighth dan is just, was unheard of. I didn't think that was possible at the time. And so it's kind of, between Mexico, the Netherlands, Japan, and Israel, I feel like I have a couple of second homes.
Yeah. Well, we need to go to Japan together. I think it would be fun.
I don't know. We'd probably wind up in a Japanese prison somewhere.
I wouldn't do well in any prison.
For tipping over those little tiny cars, it's like it's so irresistible. Those little vans where you just tip them over so bad.
And I'm telling you, the nightlife there, it's bizarre how different the day is from the night. They work hard, but my goodness, do they party hard too?
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
They
During the day, you can hear a pin drop. At night, there's ambulances everywhere.
They're belligerent as hell. And forgiven, and it's all forgiven the next day.
I don't know how they go to work after some of that too, because you see these guys in business suits, on the side of the road,
sleeping. Yeah,
on the train.
There's a name for, I forgot what it's called, but there's a name for when people fall asleep at the
train?
Izakaya. At the bar.
Or at the bar, yeah.
And nobody will wake them up, even when they're closing.
That's what happened to me.
They might have that, walk of shame back home in the morning. It might just go to the office, depending on.
I think some of them do, because maybe that's why they're wearing their business attire already. They're just ready to go right back to work. But
and my wife hates it when I say this because she makes fun of me. But they are lacking an enzyme to break down the alcohol that they consume. So
it hits them quicker.
That sakeyake thing is for real.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed learning. I was only there for a couple of weeks, but it was so interesting to see, and then also coming back here, just really realizing where we've missed the mark in some areas. But
like at 7-Eleven, for example.
Oh, the 7-Elevens are amazing.
It's like what's and what freaked me out at first when I used to go to Japan to a convenience store. If you go into a Valero stop and go, sorry guys over here for saying this, but if you touch it, you got to buy it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, are you going to want to wander around, or you're getting, can I help you? So you get like, what? You go into Japan to a convenience store. Hi, irashaimase. Onegai shimasu. Arigatou gozaimashita. It's like,
and you have no idea what they're saying, but they're being nice.
But it's you think you're in the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
You're getting bow. Even the guys stuck in the shelves will stop and bow and greet you, and it's like,
well, and it's like a mini HEB too, which people don't. I mean, like their food in there is top notch. It's not like a 7-Eleven here where you get an icy.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the fact,
no knock against 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. How do you make an egg salad sandwich delicious that's been on the shelf for whoever, how long.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just miraculous.
So so you moved into consulting. Where are you now? Like what is driving you now? Obviously getting back from Israel, but what is your passion now?
So I really enjoy working in this kind of bi-regional kind of space, right? So Israeli companies connecting to Texas, selling San Antonio and Texas to Israel, is sort of a,
Sure. You're a bridge.
I mean, we're doing good in terms of the tech transfer between the two regions, but we could be doing so much more.
Really?
Yeah, people got to get past their xenophobia and understand the opportunity is huge for us to collaborate. With Israel, and also the San Antonio is uniquely positioned between Mercosur, the south, just beyond LATAM. I mean, the whole South American region is ripe for us to really do a lot of partnerships with.
Yeah.
Just like with Israel partnering with what we call MENA, which is Mideast North Africa, and building really great partnerships in the region. I think we can do so much more. So my work in organizational development gets a little bit into that economic development.
Do you do some of that over there too?
Yeah.
So you bring some of what we're doing to them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I kind of have been a little bit of what we call the shadchan in Hebrew, a little bit of a matchmaker.
Okay.
And interested in doing more. So when I'm with those organizations, sometimes, putting the pre-sales engineer hat on and helping, okay, how do we need to how do we make this deck not suck, right? So we can, so we can have, I hope that was pronounced right too on both ends. That can sound really bad.
Pause, as they say, as the kids say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, I think that there's a lot more that can happen. So when I engage with a company, there's the classic, strategic thinking, strategic planning, leadership development, team building, all that kind of nice stuff. But the why, building great organizations that everybody wants to work for and everybody wants to do business with,
which is hard to do.
It is culture, right? It is focusing on
especially
employee
small
engagement,
businesses,
right? Yeah, some meetings I'm having this week is helping traditional organizations build more innovative cultures.
Yeah,
because
I think that's where it starts.
Yeah, well, that's what's intrinsically motivates people is guess what I did at work today.
Yeah,
you won't believe this badass stuff we're doing. Versus, oh yeah, I think we're getting another paycheck this month. Okay.
Exactly.
So I love being part of that.
Yeah.
But I also find because of the kind of breadth of and depth of some of the work I've done is really kind of helping organizations partner, internationally.
Yeah. So do you think that where do you see small businesses mess up? Is it the culture? Because I'm in small business. Where do you see this? Because I think starting with small businesses as they grow to put what you're in practice is so important. Where do you see the small businesses really mess up early on?
Well, they have to look at themselves as intrapreneurships, right? Everybody that's on the team has to wear more than one hat.
Yeah.
When you're small.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they have to feel comfortable, challenging themselves and learning how to take on different roles and responsibilities. One of the challenges for small business is the principals, the founders, having the quality of team member that they can develop to make themselves dispensable.
Yeah.
So they can actually go on vacation and things won't break.
Yes.
Or customers won't be lost.
Yes.
So I think it's hard when you're small to clone yourself because sometimes these companies were built around the riz of that founder.
Sure. Sure.
But I think that being able to sort of share your fire with your teammates so that their riz also can stand up.
Yeah.
Without also creating your own competition. So you can't worry about that.
That's tough.
It's going to happen.
That's tough. It does happen all the time.
But I go back to the one thing, that I one time I wrote this thing down on LinkedIn and I got, I don't know how many tens of thousands of views and hundreds of shares. And now it's on people's website. They've outstole it.
Yeah.
Without giving
people
me credit.
steal things.
Oh yeah.
From you?
Copyleft. Yeah. Yeah, it's worse.
I just gave you a side.
This is before the AI
Nobody
thing.
steals from you.
Yeah. So, but the quote goes like this: CEO, CFO talking to each other, and one says, "What happens if we invest in our people and they leave the company?"
Yeah, which happens all the time.
And the idea is, well, what happens if we don't and they stay?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So I think there's that magnanimity, that the gregariousness of, I'm going to help you be the best version of yourself while you're here, as long as you're here.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not going to worry about what happens later. But, even the Gallup, measurement for employee engagement, the number one thing that makes a person love or hate their job is their direct supervisor.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? That dynamic.
Absolutely.
So if you have your people's back, they're going to have yours as long as they can afford to.
Yeah. Well, and I can think of jobs that I have left when I was younger. I'm still young. I'm like 38. He almost spit his coffee out.
Yeah.
I was born in the 80s.
I don't lie about my age. I just don't broadcast it because of ageism,
But in fact, my birthday is coming up pretty soon, and I don't see a gift here, Winslow. I mean, come on now. See, it's okay. You just got back from.
That's because we got to still go out, go get coffee.
We're going to do our next show in Israel. That's what we're going to do. But so now I've gone off on a rabbit hole. So where do you see yourself going from here? The future of you?
Well, I think having my San Antonio and Jerusalem office, both up and running, and I'm spending, half of my time here, half of my time there, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah,
you want to spend more time there.
Yeah, because of kids and grandkids, and also a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
But then this is also home.
Yeah.
And I have built decades of business friendships here that are important to me.
Sure.
And want to continue to sort of nurture our next generation of leaders.
Yeah.
In whatever capacity.
Yeah.
I think that the way we work, we don't want to have 1 year of experience 20 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to have 20 years or 40 years of experience, whatever that is.
Sure.
Which means we have to reinvent ourselves. Like, last year I was doing AI fluency kind of workshops, right? It's funny. It's fun doing that, being my age.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you guys are supposed to be stupid about this stuff. No, actually, we all need to be leaning into this.
Yes, absolutely. Run toward it as opposed to from it.
Yeah. So that whole being able to companies to take the human clarity and integrate that with the machine speed, the potential of what these neural networks can do for us.
Yeah.
But be the ones that we're teaching the machines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just talking to them.
Yeah.
This kind of work I see. There's going to always be a place.
Yeah.
For helping
people
become.
Are always going to be needed.
Going beyond just being prompt engineers. Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good work there.
Yes. Yeah.
But to me, it's like if I'm helping people and organizations, kick ass, take names, and leave a dent in the universe, that I'm happy.
Yeah.
And how that changes is just it's a natural evolution.
Do you think, because I could talk to you for hours and people would probably get really bored because I haven't caught up with you in a while. But do you think AI? I think you're right. I think people skills are still going to be, at least for the immediate future, is going to be very needed, and it's what's going to save us at the end of the day is still having this type of interaction. I know a lot of people do podcasts and they do, on the phone or on Zoom or whatever. And I still am I like to read your body language. I like to see how you're reacting and maybe move off a topic if so this kind of stuff is going to still need to happen. How do you see that? How do you train that though? Because some people aren't people.
Yeah. Just like what AI can do is it can take certain workloads off our desk so we can focus on the things we really should be doing.
Sure.
Right. Being creative and
more
innovative,
creative.
right?
Yeah.
And the redundant tasks or things that are voluminous we can delegate to AI.
Yeah.
One of the challenges I had being in Israel a little longer than I had originally planned was my clients want me in the room at least half of the time.
Yeah.
They need that vibe. They need that energy.
Yeah. You can feel it. Yeah.
They want me to be reading the room so that I can give them
what they want.
Best feedback possible. Yeah. And so, we'll always be able to do a lot remotely, and I like the freedom of that.
Yeah.
I was called my field office is my bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have a device with me. I'll be working, but I'm also going to be writing.
Yeah, you will see Winslow on his bike at some point, riding around.
Yeah, but I don't show up for a keynote in my French lycra. Even though I did one time.
That'd be cool.
At Geekdom, I did talk to a ABLDB cohort one time, and I was in my kit. But try not to make a habit of it because my eyes are up here. So just, just to be funny.
So
he's going to be editing the show.
No. I'll end on this. There's two things. I'll let you kind of go into what you're doing too here in a second. But I've tried to end, and you've already kind of answered this question. So, but what is your purpose?
What that also kind of evolves, right?
Sure. But what is it now? What do you see it as now, right now? This is the question that stumps everybody too.
So, what is my North Star kind of thing?
Yes.
And all that kind of business.
I didn't want to make it cheesy.
Yeah.
You just made it cheesy.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I trite and cliche.
North Star.
I made it trite and cliche.
Thanks for just shitting on my question.
And Mike Flores says, wait a minute, that's
I thought
mine.
it was a good question.
Yeah. Mike Flores would be like, wait, that's mine. That's my thing. You can't take it. There's an interesting kind of thing where, in terms of my own internal dialogue about it, is to allow the Shihan sensei-ness, that part of my being to not have to compartmentalize that from anything else that I do.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So how I show up for my clients and whatever kind of work I'm invested in, to show up with that sort of that piece that I bring, that unique piece, and even if it's not asked for or expected, allow that to flow. Yeah. Allow that my authentic self to be present in all the work that I do, and not be distracted by the standard set of expectations.
That's great. So I will say this, and I'm not just saying that you're going to get uncomfortable with this probably. Okay. You left a mark on me, and we don't talk as much as we used to, but that's what happens in life. But I will say, and I'm not just saying this from my perspective, he's going to hate this, but you have left a mark on a lot of people in this city for sure, and left a mark on me and how, I think about business and how, what is right and wrong. And I think that you need to realize that you've left I think that's some of your purpose has already been lived out. There's so many people I talk to, and we don't, I think this is something we don't do great as a city. We don't really you've gotten kudos obviously, but it's said behind you. So I will say that you have left a mark on a lot of people, and I hope that you continue to do what you're doing because it's vitally important for what we're doing here.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. There's a Hebrew kind of passage where they ask the question, who is the noble, honorable one? Yeah, and it's the person who gives honor. Yeah, right. Who honors others. Yeah, and they use the word kavod. Yeah, and what I was thinking about was, do I have enough gratitude for my mentors? Yeah. And do I express it enough?
I think we don't do a good job of that.
Yeah. And then how do I celebrate those that invested in me and taught me what I've learned so that I can flourish and help others? Yeah. And some of those, mentors, as I've mentioned in other conversations I've had with folks, used to be my mentees. Yeah. That's awesome to see. When the student leaves the temple, that's like thing, which is really kind of cool. But then I also notice, the concepts in the world, there's folks who just do not share their credit with anyone. And I think that only hurts them.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the treasures and richness of those encounters should be more the part of their story arc. Yeah. And I don't care if it's me or whoever it is, but just, it's like treasuring and honoring and valuing that also teaches your mentees that, it's just, I think, a good vibe to have
Yeah,
overall.
absolutely.
But thank you, by the way, for all your cool words. I really appreciate it.
Where can we find you? And what I know you have a book as well. Where can we find all this stuff?
Okay, so my website, winslow-consulting.com.
Okay.
It's basic hyphen. It's not an underscore.
Okay.
Winslow Consulting with a hyphen. .com is my regular website. They always need to be updated, right? Every time you look at something, it's like, what the hell was I saying? What is this crap?
Can we get AI to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I used Merlin the other day to turn my Instagram into a website, and it took
Really?
less than 30 seconds.
Wow.
And then I just had to go to edit and get rid of some of the crap but it's
Pictures of me.
Yeah, exactly. All those. Yeah. With your hat. Oh, there's one, you're not wearing a hat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what the
Occasionally
hell?
I'm out in the wild without it.
Okay. So, but anyways, yeah. So that website, and then on social media, it's my name, like on LinkedIn. And
how you spell Swart?
Swart. Swart.
Okay. Well, we just need to make sure because I can barely say it unless it's.
Yeah. It's Dutch. It doesn't have all the extra consonants like German.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I think I know I try to keep these things not to over an hour. So we could talk all day, and I really had fun doing this. So I appreciate you, especially coming out on a Sunday to record this. And thanks so much for doing this.
Well, it's a great excuse to get to see you again.
Yeah.
And I look forward to how good or bad this comes out when we're done.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much.